The meadow spread like a soft green blanket under a bright, friendly sky. Sun warmed the grass in gold patches. In the middle stood an old oak with thick roots and big, wide branches. Friends met there to play and tell stories. Hare ran happy circles, proud of quick legs and a bright red bandana. Tortoise lived at the meadow edge with a moss-flecked shell and a faded blue scarf. Squirrel chattered and waved a small leaf flag. Owl watched from a low branch with tiny gold spectacles. The oak kept their laughter and secrets. It felt like the start of a kind day. Hare loved to run. He zipped past flowers and logs. His ears stood up, his chest puffed out. He yelled, "I am the fastest!" Some animals giggled, some frowned. Tortoise lifted his head slow. His eyes were calm. He smiled like soft rain. He did not shout. Hare grinned and wagged a brow. Try to run, he dared. Tortoise put down his leaf. He spoke in a slow, steady voice. "Hare, you may be fast, but I will race you." The meadow went quiet. Little birds hovered above, eyes wide and beaks open with wonder. Everyone waited. The race had just begun. Morning spread soft light over the meadow. Animals gathered under the big oak, bright and busy. Squirrel found a yellow leaf and made a flag. She tied it to a stick and waved it proudly. Owl sat on a low branch and watched with kind eyes. He blinked, adjusted his tiny glasses, and looked like a careful judge. 2 flat stones marked the start and finish. Tortoise stood steady, feeling the sun on his shell. Hare bounced on his toes and grinned. Frogs croaked a small tune. The meadow felt excited and calm. The little race was almost ready to start. Squirrel dropped the leaf. Hare shot off like an arrow. He was a white blur with ears back and a red bandana flying. The meadow held its breath. Hare raced down the path. Tortoise took a slow breath. He placed one steady foot in front of the other. Step, step. No hurry, just calm, steady pace. Hare looked back right away. He saw only a tiny round shell, a dot like an acorn cap. He grinned, sure he would win, and pushed even harder. The path curved and sent new little tests. Tortoise kept his slow steps and watched the ground. In a cartoon meadow, Hare lay under a droopy willow and closed his eyes. He meant to nap for a moment. The sun made soft spots on his fur. He dreamed of running fast and crunchy carrots. The meadow hummed and moved on. Tortoise walked slowly along a narrow path. He picked his steps between stones. He pushed past a prickly thistle that tugged at his scarf. He stepped on a soft moss patch and smiled. He breathed in and out and kept going. Squirrel sat on a low branch and waved a leaf. She shouted small cheers. Her voice felt like a warm blanket. Hare slept longer than he planned. A wink of rest turned into a deep nap under the willow. Time slid away and the sun tilted. When he woke, he leapt up with a whistle of surprise. Tortoise had kept going, using small, steady energy. He saved himself for the finish by pacing each move like a metronome. As Tortoise moved, the sun warmed his shell, and his shadow crossed the grass like a slow hand. The animals watched quietly, feeling the change in the race. Hare ran hard with sudden power, but the ground had already learned Tortoise's steady steps. The finish line came into view as a ribbon of bowed grass. Tortoise's final steps were small and exact. Move, breathe, set foot, repeat. He tipped forward with a private, gentle breath and crossed the stones. For a moment, the world paused. Then the meadow exploded into cheers. Leaves stirred, Squirrel's leaf flag waved so hard it folded, and Owl's spectacles flashed light like laughter. Hare skidded to a halt, breathless and stunned. Shame settled on him like dust. He had expected a crowd and a clean win, but instead found the quiet truth of the finish. The race taught him by simple fact. Tortoise turned and looked at Hare. He did not gloat. His smile was small and kind. He extended a slow paw and placed it on Hare's shoulder. The touch was warm and steady, like someone who knows how hard it is to stand. "I won not because I am faster," Tortoise said, voice like warm earth, "but because I kept going." Hare's ears stepped. He felt shame and relief at once. He wanted to make a joke and found only honest words. I thought speed could stand in for care," he said. Around them the meadow listened as a lesson settled. Owl cleared his throat with an old, bookish exhale. He spoke not to scold, but to point the way. "Pride is a fine engine," he said, "but it needs the steward of discipline." His words landed like a map, showing where to walk next. Hare listened. The truth sat heavy but clear, and he learned quickly through simple consequence. He did not run away. Instead, he stayed by the oak and watched Tortoise check his shell for burrs. Hare moved from quick applause for himself to careful hands that brushed away a thorn. The change was small but honest, and it mattered. Evening came, and the meadow settled into soft rest. Tortoise pulled in his legs and let the cool night press on his shell. His faded blue scarf rustled like a lullaby. Hare curled beside him, ears folded like a question finally answered. They spoke in slow, easy words and traded their stories under the oak. They ran sometimes after that, not for applause, but for the feel of wind and muscle. The other animals followed the new way, racing in laughter rather than boast. The oak kept both old roots and new memories. Slow and steady had won, and winning together felt brighter than alone. Morning comes slow after the big race. Hare wakes with a new, quiet purpose. He trims his bursts and practices steady steps that last. Tortoise walks beside him, patient and calm, testing each slow move. They set a small practice path by the oak and mark soft stones. Squirrel runs ahead, waving her leaf flag like a tiny banner and calling out gentle counts. Owl watches from his low branch, spectacles catching the warm light. The four friends cheer for every try and share notes about breathing and timing. Slow steps, short sprints, and kind hands shape a steady habit they all keep. Over the week, the animals trade lessons. Tortoise shows how to set a pace and breathe. Hare shows quick drills and how to turn fast. Squirrel teaches balance and cheering without teasing. Owl talks about steady goals and small plans. They build a ribbon trail for practice under the oak and mark soft stations with stones. Each friend leaves a small note of what they tried and why. When one slips, the others help without blame. Pride melts into practice. Winning becomes about steady work and shared joy. The oak watches as craft grows from kind effort. Hare and Tortoise lead a small day of practice near the oak. Hare shows quick drills and then slows to match Tortoise's step. Tortoise teaches how to breathe and place the foot with care. Squirrel times the moves with her leaf and cheers when they try new steps. Owl sits above and nods when lessons are kept. The four show how speed and patience can live together. They run short races for fun and practice slow walks for strength. Each trial ends in a calm clap and a shared smile. The meadow learns by watching them. Hare finds a new rhythm. He still loves full speed, but he learns rest and timing. He meets Tortoise each dawn and practices steady strides. Sometimes he sprints, then slows to match the pace. He learns how to breathe into his speed. Squirrel times them with her leaf flag and laughs when Hare pantomimes slow moves. Hare's grin is softer now. He helps younger animals with warm tips rather than boasts. The meadow notices the shift, quick things held with care. Even Owl nods from his branch. pride grows into craft, and Hare feels richer for it. Night comes and the oak holds their day. Hare and Tortoise sit close with quiet smiles. They speak of simple goals and shared runs. Squirrel tucks away her flag and hums a small tune. Owl dims his spectacles and offers a soft, satisfied blink. Stars move like slow beats above them. The meadow breathes in a calm rhythm, the animals made together. No one fears being slow. No one forgets to try. Both friends know that winning can be shared or quiet. They rest with the comfortable weight of new habit and a gentle plan for tomorrow.